All right, here we are, Impact and Influence Radio right here on iHeart. Today's broadcast is brought to you by Blinds of Sacramento, Sacramento's complete solution window covering experts. Give them a call, 916-790-8689 or blindsofsacramento.com. Now today, we've got a lovely lady, Taylor Elizabeth, from Just a Girls Media. We're going to be talking about social media. And the funny thing is, I've been doing this a long time, and I've worked with a lot of people. And before we got started recording, of course, I had to speak my mind and my opinion. And she stopped and put me in my place. So I went, she's strong, she's good. I like this one. All right. So we're going to be learning about you. How you doing, my dear?
I'm doing good. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Thank you for being here. Now, Just a Girls Media, before we really get into all of this, what is it that you do?
Right. So I'm a social media manager for small businesses and content creators in the Midtown Sacramento area. I basically take on their social media account and I do everything from engagement, content management, content plan, filming, editing, all of it. I have a whole team behind me and we just take it over and translate your online community into real foot traffic that converts to real numbers.
I liked how you put that. The biggest question I have is how is this a one size fits all, or do you tailor this to each business? Because each business has a different culture, different concept, different idea.
Right. Yeah. No. So I tailor it based off of what business I'm working with. I've worked with salons. I've worked with restaurants. I've worked with cafes. I've worked with individual clients before who are like a family channel, and they're going to be very different than if I was working for a brick and mortar. Right.
Yeah.
So I definitely cater that for whoever my client is. Definitely not a one-size-fit-all type thing.
Why are you so passionate about this space? And then you've got a bunch of things that you're going to want to talk about. Before we get into that, though, why are you so passionate about this? Why this and not real estate or something else?
Oh, gosh. No, I've done so much before. I used to be a recruiter for, tech companies and construction companies, and I was on a roll there. I made money out the ass. But what happened is that I love creating. I come from a background of being I compare myself to a child star. I used to be a Gerber baby. I was on a Netflix show.
What show?
I was on 13 Reasons Why for 4 years. Yeah, all 4 seasons.
Okay.
And that was
you have an IMDb credit?
I do have an IMDb
Then we'll make
credit.
sure to get you on our IMDb for this.
Awesome. Thank you. So yeah, I did that, and that passion in content creation and in creating in general just kind of took it over, and I was like, if I can manage myself, and I worked with brands like Good American, that's Khloe Kardashian's brand. I've worked with Ulta, I worked with Target, I've worked with so many different brands already. I was like, if I can do this for myself, why not do this for other people and businesses? And so that's what created Just a Girls Media.
No, killer. And see, that's where you should be starting. When you sit down and you talk to people and they say, so what do? You could say something like, let me ask you something. If I could help you get your business looking like Target or looking like Ulta or looking like Khloe Kardashian, what do you think that could do for your business? If I could make you look like that online.
Yeah.
And that sells a heck of a lot bigger than I do social media management.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do.
You have to sell that sizzle.
Yeah.
Right?
It has to have a little bit more flair.
I love it. Okay. All right. So types of clients, what are you looking for currently?
Right now, I'm looking for like-minded clients who see the importance of social media. I'm not in the business to convince you that social media is the great equalizer of small businesses. I'm not here to convince you of that, but I am here to educate you on it. So I'm looking for clients that already see the value of social media and are ready to upgrade their social media account and take it to the next level. I love working with salons. I love working with boutiques. My favorite hair salon right now is called It's My Hair Salon. I want to work with them. They are the hairstylists of Good Day Sacramento, so I want to work with them so bad. And just also, I do the talent management program at my company, so anyone that's interested in content creation, or if you're an actor, a content creator, individual artist, I'd love to manage you and get you connected with brands that you're passionate about.
So we have a mixer coming up at Lucy's Salon in Roseville. Are you familiar?
I'm not,
Luann
but
Sequini.
I do know where Roseville is.
Okay, so Luann Sequini, she's a local legend.
Okay.
She came on my radio show, God, over 10 years ago.
Okay.
And she has grown that business just mountains.
Wow.
I mean, incredible. So we have an event coming up. I don't remember exactly what date it is, but I'll get you those details. Show
Awesome.
up.
I will.
You want to grow, you have to show up. I keep
I
telling
will.
people this. You know, get in front of people. We'll help you get in front of people. We have dates on the calendar. I can introduce you to people. Literally every night, every event that we're at, I can introduce you to people.
I would love that.
So the point is that Lou is a beast. Do you think I'm intense? This woman is. She scares me. Okay, so no, Luann is just on a whole nother level. I'll make that introduction. She's wonderful.
Yay.
Apart from that, you had some things that you wanted to really touch on today. Now, social media equalizer. Explain to me what this is here.
So I would say that social media is the great equalizer for small businesses, right? I would say that they give small businesses a seat at the table in terms of marketing, where big companies used to basically dominate that field, right? No longer are you spending thousands of dollars on commercial ads or billboards or newspaper ads, right? People are finding things on social media. I find most of my favorite restaurants from scrolling on social media, from being on TikTok. So I would say that nowadays social media gives people that winning hand of being able to go like, I can do this. Like even me as a small business owner, I went from having 5 followers to like 100 just because I started posting consistently. And it wasn't the best post. It's not always going to look good, right? But you just need to start. And that's the most important part, right? Start doing it consistently. It's okay if you do it every single day. It's okay if you do it once a week, but teach that algorithm when you're going to post.
Do you think social media is dying?
I don't. I think it's evolving. I think that what we are going to see is that anyone can be an influencer because of where our consumer buying power is going, right? We're now looking, I'm more likely to buy something because my friend of a friend said that they liked it rather than because, Sydney Sweeney is parading it around on a commercial, right? I think that social media is evolving.
The sad thing is my generation doesn't even know who that person is.
Right.
I'm dead serious.
Euphoria?
I'm dead serious. No.
Excuse me.
No, okay. So, because my biggest concern is in the next few years, we're not going to be carrying devices. We're going to be using wearable
Our
tech.
eyeballs.
Yes, we're going to be using wearable tech, and that really is where the future is. And I mean, are we still going to be quote unquote scrolling?
It'll look differently. It'll definitely look differently. I think when we have things like AI, you'll start seeing us scrolling in a different aspect. We'll be able to scroll in real time.
Well, we're scrolling
rather than like this with our thumbs.
Well, no, you get the glasses, right? And then like with the Meta glasses, you wear that bracelet that's reading your muscles.
Wow.
And you move your hand, but you're not touching anything.
Wow.
You're just moving your hand and the muscle. And that's already the tech that we have. That's that's $800.
Oh, God.
And so you're thinking like in 5 years?
That's
in
sick.
3 years.
That actually makes me a little sad, only because like my business, right? My job is being in social media. I love it, right? And my job is in turn also being on with trends and big tech, right? I need to be on top of it.
Yeah.
However, I will also issue caution to certain things like that, right? Because another part of my business is building community. And when we have so much tech and so much AI, we lose that community.
That's why the magazine works.
Yeah.
Because it goes back to belly to belly.
Yeah.
It goes back to that real human connection. And what's funny about all of that is we're almost going back. We have new tech, but we're stepping back in how we use that tech. It's a very interesting thing.
Yeah, because as humans, I think that we yearn for that connection. We yearn for that community.
Yeah.
And so I think that's why we see as buying the way we are. I think that's why we see us spending the time.
Well, the other argument is like with websites, people are, we have social media, so we're not going to have websites anymore. Websites are still so important.
They're so important.
Yeah.
As someone from my generation and who actually thought when I started my business, I said, I don't need a website. I'm going to have my Instagram. That's going to be my website.
You could actually just do a link tree.
Work.
But you could do a link tree linking to your social media and all of that.
You could. However, I want to urge people who are starting a business and who are like, who don't know, who are more like, I'm just going to do social media.
Yeah.
I want you to make a website. Your website matters because you're not just talking to social media people, right? You're talking to all different kinds of people.
Yeah.
I have people who, my potential clients always ask me, where's your website? What website do you have?
Yeah.
I have to send them my portfolio that I made on Canva, which is nice. But for sure, I need to have a website that shows everything.
Well, the other argument, though, is also these people that are like, okay, well, I want to put everything up onto this or onto that. And the problem with the social media is that you're borrowing that platform. And if that platform goes bye-bye or they do something stupid within that company or the platform gets hacked, I mean, anything can happen these days, then your entire business is gone.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So you have to have your own space.
Yeah, no, that is a really good point.
Social media's impact on your business.
Well, yeah, like I was saying, I grew on social media. I had 5 followers, just started, and then now I have 100 and something, 113, I think. And we're steady growing. I would say that social media has helped me gain visibility. There's businesses that would never know that I exist without social media. I'm constantly messaging businesses, constantly getting my visibility out there. For those of you who don't know, I have lupus. And so with that, it kind of slows me down sometimes. I can't go to all of the events all the time, right? But social media has opened that door. Like I said, it's given me a seat at the table that I would not have had if it wasn't there, which is being able to reach out to businesses and businesses being able to directly see my work. They're able to not have to ask me, oh, where's your portfolio? They're able to go instantly on my social media and go, this is her. This is who she is.
There were some data points that you wanted to touch on. What were some of those?
Well, I was going to go over a little bit about like community over followers.
Okay, so talk to me about this.
So I was going to talk a little bit about that, right? I think it's really important that, because we were talking before the podcast, right? We were talking about our following count and how it's important to have the numbers, right? To have the credibility.
We were arguing. It was great.
We were not arguing. We were having a creative discussion.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Most people will balk. Boom. That's it. Hey, Quinn, you're right. That's not a good thing. Quinn's not right. Quinn's got a big opinion and an ego, but he might not be right.
But I was going to say that when it comes to community over followers, right? Yes, just looking at it, right? You do need that following count to have that credibility, quote unquote, sometimes. However, I would say that on my Taylor project, my personal account, I have 2,000 people, right? And I grew that 2,000 community organically. I posted consistently. I reached out, all of that organically. So those 2,000 people don't look like 21,000, but trust and believe if I said, hey, everyone, I just did an interview with Impact and Influence. I'm really excited for that. They would start buying that magazine because I said I liked it. That's 2,000 people versus having 21,000 and only 500 people really care. You know?
21,000, about 50 people actually care.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. That's where we're at. But we've also been building that account. That account is it's about 15 years old.
And so what I tell people, because I have a lot of clients that come at me and they say the same thing, they're like, well, we have like my salon client, they had 24,000 followers, right? But before I came on, their engagement was really low. I tripled their engagement in 1 month.
What was actually interesting about our account is that we did a purge we were at 24 or 26,000. And I went through there about a year or two ago, and I did a purge. And everyone who didn't have a picture was deleted. Everybody that was a company that was like a large-scale business that had no reason to be following our page was removed. Everybody that was in some foreign country and they didn't have their name was like in Swahili or something, and you couldn't read it. You know what I'm talking about. You tell the scammer ones, the Indian looking accounts with the really fuzzy pictures and stuff. All that stuff was pulled, and what we saw was the engagement increased. But what I also found was there was a lot of people, past clients, that are in that. I mean, again, there's thousands of people we've worked with over the years that are following that page that don't engage. And yet we see them regularly.
Right. And with that,
it's a weird thing.
With that, what you see is that you want to look at what you're posting, right? You want to make sure that
we're only posting pretty much one thing a month now, which is just the magazine,
right?
Because we pulled everything else down.
And you want to make sure that you're not just selling, right? Selling.
We don't sell anything.
A little bit like, and see, when I say sell, even just posting the magazine and only the magazine, that can be considered a sell.
Well, so what we're doing with the magazine is you have the first 20 pages of the magazine. You can read it for free on our Instagram.
Right, but it's it's when as a social media manager, when I'm looking at it, if I were to do an Instagram audit on your Instagram, I would count that as like a selling point because it's part of your product, right?
Yes.
It doesn't follow under the three categories of educate, entertain, relate.
You see what I was talking about when I said that she was smart? You like that? Pretty good, dude. Pretty good.
Yeah.
Over here schooling an old man. I love it. But that's not going to change. I'm only going to put that up
No,
there.
it's okay. But if you ever hired a social media manager, that's kind of where we come on, right? But that's what businesses do. They're like, hey, I wouldn't do that, but we would for you.
We used to put, so we go to a lot of the car events, so we would put all of the events that we attend. We put all that stuff. We do Monterey Car Week every year. We'd put that up there. All the networking events, we'd take pictures of those businesses and put that stuff up there. And then record radio stuff, kind of like what you're doing here. Put that stuff up there. Movie clips, because we own a film studio. We put our movie clips there. We had all that stuff.
Oh, that's great. I'm a producer.
Yeah. And so we were doing, we were getting, 120,000 views a month, something along those lines. But it wasn't converting. It wasn't like turning into business. Yeah, people were watching and all that stuff. But what it also did was, when you get to a certain level in your quote-unquote celebrity, I hate that word, but when you get to a certain level, I've written 36 books.
Okay.
I've got the magazine. I've done movies. It's right. You've been in film.
Yes.
My career started in music. I've been doing radio shows for about 15 years. And so when you take all of these things, the brand becomes, the John Robert Quinn brand becomes the celebrity, and that starts to produce a lot of unwanted attention. Yeah. And so what we did was we said, okay, nobody can call us anymore. We don't publish our phone number anywhere. You can't contact me on the website. The magazine doesn't have any contact information. Instagram doesn't have any contact. You don't know anything about my life. You don't know where I live. And so we pulled everything down, and now John Robert Quinn brand is just the front page when you open it up, and it says the editor in chief. That's all that you find now. When you go to Google's going to pull up the IMDb and all that other stuff.
I Googled you.
Did you?
I did.
Yeah. So not bad, huh? But you can't find anything about me anymore. And so that's essentially where we've gone with the Instagram is we even changed the name from John Robert Quinn to Impact and Influence. Just because the magazine is front and center. That's the focus, and that's it. Yeah. We even changed all the radio shows are now Impact and Influence.
Yeah. I mean, and that's a real issue, right? Let's talk about it. I think I've had an issue where I've created these parasocial relationships online. You have them because you overshare, right?
Yes.
I used to talk a lot about my mental health, and I still do, but more in a controlled way. It used to just be, I'm just going to get online and just talk about it.
Oh man, you and me both. I've written it in my books and all that stuff, and then 10 years later, you're like, you know what? We're going to run all that through ChatGPT and remove all the crap.
I think we should. Or, have someone proofread it, before you post it. But because you do, and I think that the term of privacy is really important. And with businesses because like I said, you're going to have to entertain, you're going to have to relate, and you're going to have to educate, right? And with the relating part, a lot of that is being the face of your business. And so a lot of time you see these businesses and these business owners get burnt out because they're showing up online, they're showing up for their business. It's a lot. Yeah. I would say definitely that's where, in my strong professional opinion, a social media manager in business, if you are going to grow on social media, if you're going to grow your business and that's the route you're going to take, then you need support.
You know where I'm actually taking my business, and you're either going to look at this and go, "Wow, you're an idiot," or "That's actually really smart."
Okay.
is I model Keanu Reeves' model.
Really?
The movies are the movies.
Mm-hmm.
They're at the studio.
Yes.
They're on the IMDb.
Yes.
Has no personal website.
Exactly.
He has no social media. You don't know anything about him. You don't know where he lives. You don't know who his agent is.
Mm-hmm.
You know nothing. But if you can access him, that means that you're in his circle.
Yeah.
And he stays busy.
Yeah.
And the moment that we started playing takeaway, all of a sudden our business started growing. Let me ask you this before I want to start wrapping up.
Yeah.
I used to have this saying. I still have it in a sense, but it's you're either everywhere or you're nowhere. I used to tell people you need to be on Facebook, you need to be on TikTok, you need to be on Instagram, you need to be on Twitter, you need to be on all these different things.
Yeah.
And now I tell people, just pick one.
Yeah.
If you're going to do TikTok, do TikTok. If you're going to do Instagram, do Instagram. If you're going to do Facebook, do Facebook. I think Facebook's dead. I think X is dead.
I wouldn't use X or Facebook personally.
It's
not my favorite tool.
they're
love the
changed.
meta analytics tools that they provide.
I think Instagram is the future. I even think TikTok is.
And TikTok once being
It's too
sold,
volatile.
honestly,
Yes.
once being sold, it lost its muchness, as the
Well,
Mad
when it
Hatter
got
would
shut
say.
down, that's when it lost its muchness.
Yeah.
Everybody went over to Instagram, and Instagram is, in my opinion, I think Instagram is really the one. If you're going to do any of them, people come to me all the time, and they don't ask me what my website address is. They ask me what's my Instagram handle.
Yeah, same.
And that is huge, dude.
Yeah, it is.
And so if you're going to do one, or if you're going to do any of them, my opinion is do Instagram.
Yeah,
That's what you're thinking?
I would pick two.
Okay.
I would pick two, and my two are Instagram and TikTok, but you're not going to post the same way on TikTok that you are on Instagram.
Yes.
Instagram is going to be your storefront. Instagram is going to be like, look pretty, look nice. This is what people, consumers, clients, this is what they see, right? Your TikTok, that is where you're going to start throwing anything at the wall and see what sticks. And that's really the truth of it, you know?
Yeah.
And I would tell everyone, if you want to be more like intentional with it, treat TikTok like your reality show and Instagram like the storefront.
Which is exactly the opposite of what I want. I don't want the attention.
Exactly.
Well, no, again, I go to Monterey Car Week, and I go to all the big things, and I know all these celebrities, and we're talking, $2 million to $20 million cars.
Yeah.
And I'm going to the auctions, and so that's just part of our experience now. Is just like if once you become a member, you'll get the invite, and you can actually come to Car Week with us.
I love cars, so I'm a big car girl.
Are you familiar with Car Week?
I am not, but I used to race cars when I was like 18, so I want to do cars.
Monterey Car Week is a 9-day festival in Monterey. They shut Monterey down, the whole damn thing.
Oh, I want to go.
And everyone flies their cars in from all over the world. And so when we go, we're going to have lunch. So we have lunch at the Pebble Beach Golf Course. And out front is just Paganis and Bugattis.
I love cars. I'm a car girl.
So the point is that, part of your celebrity is you want to show off all that stuff.
Yeah.
Now I'm like, I mean, you want to take a picture of me, that's fine. Put it on your social media, but I'm not putting anything.
Yeah.
I'm no longer the guy that's like, here, look at what watch I'm wearing. No, seriously. I used to have a different watch for every day of the week, and I would have to post it up on Instagram. You just get to a certain point when you don't want the attention. I used to drive Porsches everywhere. You don't want the attention anymore.
So the question becomes, right, like how, and that would be my job, right, is to figure out how do I work with a client that doesn't want the attention, right, but still wants the same results.
You get rid of the celebrity face and you focus on the product.
Awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
But how do you do that, right, when my whole business pitch, my whole shtick, right, is community, building community, right, over virality, those types of things.
So yeah, with our platform, we go to the networking event. We have all the events up there. You meet me. We shake hands.
And that's how you build the community.
And you build the community. And our website is the community. And so we'll go over all of that. And that's Opera, AWEPRA. And we've talked about building our own social media. We talked about having our own phones coming out, but the technologies are changing so much that it's antiquated before you even get into the research and development phase. So it's like, I say stay in your lane. Just do what you're doing. Stay in your lane, and you don't need to be accessible to everybody.
Yeah,
you just don't. Jeff Bezos has a very small circle, but he's got a very big network, right? And so you go to his number 1 or his number 2 or his number 3, and that's what we have in our organization. Is we have typically when you want to reach me, you go through Frank.
Yeah, I'm developing that for sure.
It just takes time.
I have an executive assistant who stepped up, and she's like, "Yeah, you can't do this on your own anymore, girlie."
Yeah.
It's like, okay.
We don't accept calls. My phone doesn't accept calls.
Yeah.
And what's the other thing that's funny is we go to these events and we're like, yeah, download our app. We don't put apps on the phone. I don't have pictures in my phone. I don't have phone numbers in my phone, and I don't accept phone. Why do you have a phone? Because the people that are in that circle have access. That's it.
That's exciting.
It's a crazy thing. It's a crazy thing. And when you get to a certain point, you have to start doing that. And then there's a filter. Because you can't let, again, we're at 60, what are we at? 63,000 subscribers, 63. Imagine if I gave 63,000 people my contact info and said,
that would be something.
You could never function.
Yeah.
You'd never function.
Yeah.
So, all right. Taylor Elizabeth, Just a Girls Media. Find her on Instagram, 707-712-5847. 707-712-5847.
5897.
58, did I say 947?
You said 47.
5897.
Yeah.
707-712-5897. That's age. 5897. And that's actually pretty cool that we screwed that up because now people are listening. All right. So anything you want to add before I get out of here?
I would just like to say any tips for, small businesses looking to start on social media, just start. Just start today. It's not going to look pretty. It's not going to look clean. But the fact that you're starting and you're being consistent with it already tells the algorithm that you're real and you're ready to go.
Okay. 707-712-5897. Taylor Elizabeth, Just a Girls Media. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for
and
having me.
Thank the cameraman for being here.
Thanks,
and we'll
girlie.
see you guys next time. Bye-bye.